Hi guys, you're welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Yvonne Princess Shabangu. If you are new here, you're welcome to like, subscribe, share, and comment. And voila, you're part of the graceful, the beautiful, and the wonderful family. Back with another video, and it's an Employment Wednesday video, but it's a pretty chilled one. We're having a conversation with a medicine student, the ones that ran away from war. The one that survived the World War. Yeah, so you can introduce yourself, tell us something and anything, you know.
Hi guys, welcome to her channel. So my name is Leanne. I'm a third-year medical student in Ukraine. So I'm currently back home because of the war. And yeah, I think that's basically it.
Okay, cool. But I'm just gonna start with an icebreaker. Would you rather be at the desert or at the sea?
At the sea.
Okay, why?
It's more refreshing, you know. I can be in the water, I can swim.
Okay,
you know,
so can you actually swim? Because I know a lot of black people can't swim.
Yeah.
We just put our legs in there and
Yes.
we just rest in it.
Yeah.
And then what are you currently reading? Are you a reader or do you listen to podcasts?
I listen to podcasts.
What's your favorite podcast? Top thing.
Wisdom and Wellness.
Ooh, okay.
What's it called? This one by Oprah. So
Yes, I know it, but also I don't know the name, but I know the one that you're talking about by Oprah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And recently I started listening to Dear Future Wifey.
Okay, are you preparing to be someone's wife? You may never know. Okay, that's good. So what was your driving purpose for medicine? Like, did you wake up and say, I'm going to become a doctor? Or it was something imposed? Like, what made you get to a point where you're like, you know what, let's go for it?
Generally, since I was very young, you know, that thing whereby you're young and you're just like, I want to be a doctor, but then like you don't really understand, like what you'd be getting into. You know, it was like a status back then, like So it was just one of those things. And then, you know, when I went to high school, started doing like biology and stuff, that's when I realized, oh, this is interesting, and I would like to do this more and more. Yeah, but then, you know, school was getting tough, and I was asking myself, do I really want to do this? But then, it's always been that, like a passion from childhood, and it just grew more and more until,
So, like, you were like, you know what, I'm chasing my dreams, this is it.
Yeah. Okay. But then at some point, I was like, no, I don't think I can do this, because, you know, school was getting hard, and I'm like, if it's getting hard now,
it's probably going to be harder.
Exactly. But then, you know, if I along the way, I realized this is what really God wants me to do. Like, He put it in my heart. So in as much as I tried, like, going into other parts, you know, He always brought me back. You know, when I was applying, I had so many challenges and stuff, and He brought me back.
Brought you back. So basically, you also believe that you're called into it. It's like part of your purposes.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. That's very interesting, actually, because I think it's always easy to say, I want to become a doctor, I want to become a lawyer and all of that, but usually people don't understand what it takes for you to get there. But whenever you're called to it, it becomes much more easier, no matter how challenging the process is. You actually hold on to the bigger picture because you know that this is where I'm supposed to be and God has my back, right? Definitely. Okay, you've chosen your subject, you're done with, you did O-level, ne? Or is it A-level? Is it A?
O and A.
Oh, okay. So, like, what happens is that, like, Form 5, Form 6? Or?
Yeah, Form 5, Form 6.
Oh, okay. So, you guys, like, you did Cambridge. Are you part of those people? Or
no, I did ZIMSEC.
Oh, you did ZIMSEC.
And
okay.
I was doing mathematics, pure maths, biology, and chemistry. Those were the three subjects I was doing in E-level.
Oh, okay. That's nice. So, and then what were the requirements? Like, okay, what made you choose to actually decide to study medicine elsewhere? Like, why not Zimbabwe? Why not South Africa? Why not African countries?
Okay, so Zimbabwe was never the option for me.
Okay.
Because, you know, the economy, whatever, I just couldn't see myself studying there. Like, I never even attempted to apply.
Sure.
So it was always, okay, so my first choice was South Africa. Actually, it was my only choice. I didn't have plans of like going abroad and stuff like that. But then I then realized later on that in South Africa, like, you're not allowed, if you're a foreigner, you're not allowed to do medicine here.
Sure.
So that's when I now had to look like elsewhere where I can do medicine. But then also I started applying for different programs here in SA because, you know, time was running out. I had taken a gap year, so I thought, you know what, let me just do anything, you know, because at the end of the year, I don't want to have no admission, you know, otherwise you.
So basically, you were also in a moment where you're about to step outside your purpose because you're like, let me just plan this my way because God is taking time. In a way, okay.
Yeah. But then, you know, along the way, that's when I got to know of Ukraine. I don't think I ever knew about the country Ukraine before.
Okay.
Yeah, that's when I got to know of it. And then the application process was actually smooth. There wasn't any like hassles going through it and stuff. And yeah, that's when the journey began.
And you were like, you know what, let me just do this. You were happy. Okay, there's something that you say, like, behind the scene. I think also it may be an important lesson for somebody who may feel like they've been waiting on God and things are not moving or they've been applying, right? You said initially you were going to go to Zambia.
Yes, it was, I started applying in Zambia as well. Like, I was looking at some schools there, but then, I don't know, things just never seem to move. You know, when you are like hoping on something and then like things are not moving. So you just see that, you know, God is just planning your things in a certain way, but then in the moment you don't really understand. You are just trying to push that this is what I want to do, this is what I want to do. And you just want to get admission for that point. From that point, it was just a matter of, let me just get admitted. But it didn't matter whether it was medicine that I was going to do or it was just going to be any other program. So
and then God sent a helper. And I feel like, you know what, name, now I'm at a verge where I believe in like how God divinely orchestrates every single thing in our lives, from who our parents are, where they work. Sometimes we may be complaining, why can't my parents get a job at such a place? Or why can't ABCD happen a certain way? But when things start aligning, you start realizing that actually God operates from a very divine place. Like, for instance, when you told me that actually your dad spoke to one of his colleagues, and then his colleagues was like, actually, my daughter's in Ukraine. And, you know, you were able to conversate with this person. They actually made it much easier for you to be able to go with the process. And imagine if your dad wasn't at the right place at the right time. You know, if he had chosen to take a job that is outside his purpose, whatever the case may be. So it shows how everything divinely aligns to where God wants us to end up, whether we like it or not, right?
Actually, let me dive into that. So, my dad, like, he had just lost, like, a contract, a job contract. So he was, like, unemployed for, like, 3 months. You know, he wanted to look for jobs like closer to home. So he wasn't even considering like being in a different province because, you know, he would have to be like away from his family. So it was one of those things whereby, you know, miraculously he got called to like a job interview in a different province, and he finally got the job there. So, you know, he had gone for like a certain period of time without a job, and then now he's called to a different province. And when he gets there, that's when his colleague says, oh, you know what, I have a daughter in Ukraine, you can try, what. And that's how things just, you know, worked out. And another thing, I had a cousin in Zimbabwe. She had come over to visit us like for the holidays. So she said, I also have a friend in Ukraine. Like, she just brought up the whole Ukraine thing, and I'm like, okay, maybe you can just connect me with her. And turns out it's the same girl.
Wow.
I'm telling you, like, it was so weird. And
wow. Actually, like, I think it proves that, like, if guys, you don't think God exists, like, this is proof. Like, I feel like another thing, God will go out of his way to make things work out for your good. Definitely. So there ain't no mistake. Like even when you sit here watching this video, like you are supposed to be watching it at this point in time. Like it's very important to honor and be obedient to where God leads you, because sometimes we're resistant to God's calling or God's purpose for our lives, but we don't realize that we were designed for specific purposes and for us to do certain things, and God has created the environment for our purpose to actually become. But if you step out of purpose, you will be frustrated, because that's not how he designed you to be, you know. So okay, so how did you, like when you applied, was there a website when you applied to Ukraine? How did that work?
No, so with Ukraine, you apply through agents. You only use agents.
Okay.
Then like you have to send your documents, and the agent will have to go to the university, and then you get admission. Then they send you an invitation letter that you have to use for the visa
application. Okay, that's good. So with the agency, like, do you like Google for agencies? Is it different agencies, or there's just one agency that works with universities, or how does that work?
So actually, they are different agencies. So with me, I was fortunate enough that my friend's daughter, my dad's friend's daughter was already there, so I just used the same agent
that she had already used. Did you have to pay this agent an amount or something like that?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. Are their prices reasonable or are they high?
Yeah, I think they are reasonable considering what they have to go through, you know, the transportation that they have to be doing throughout going to the school, you know, getting everything and sending you your documents, making sure that you get there on time to school, and, you know,
okay, it's reasonable. Okay, there's something that you mentioned that can be actually alarming. You spoke of having to carry hard cash.
Yes. So the thing is, with these agencies, like you have to go with cash.
Sure.
Like the money that you're taking, it has to be in cash. That's just how it is. But then it's. I realized later on that it's not the school's. It's not the rule of the school for you to do that. It's the agents that do that, because you know you're supposed to pay like tuition for like the whole year. So they take some of the money, they use it, they invest it into their business. And then they will later on pay
your tuition fee. Okay, so it's actually for their benefit. Oh,
but
okay.
Then, there's been so many cases of people being duped of their money and stuff. So
yeah, I mean, I can only imagine, because imagine you get there, you have this hard cash. You can't even trace it. You give it to this person,
and it's
then this person,
you're meeting the person for the first time. So
and then this person disappears. Like, it's crazy. But I love your bravery. You were just like, I'm going in. Because you know what? As a person, I think that's one of the things I want to work on this year. I've got separation anxiety. Like, I'm one person who hoards things, people, and stuff. Yeah. So it's not easy for me to let go, or to be like, you know what? I'm leaving. I'm going to another country. I love exploring, but I also like the comfort of being able to say, okay, I'm going back home to my friends. I'm still settled in SA. So for me to be like, you know, I'm going to go to the United Kingdom or to explore a new career altogether, and I'm leaving everything, it takes so much from me, you know.
I understand. But I think it was easier for me because I was in boarding school, like literally my whole high school life.
Really?
Yeah, so with boarding school, like you're literally at home 3 months of the year.
Sure.
9 months you are at school, so you're already used to like your independent life, you know. Just
so you're always away. Basically, so, okay, that would make sense. Also, I think it like I was saying, it like God divinely orchestrates everything. Sort of prepared you from a very young age to actually say you will travel nations, you know, and you won't hold yourself back because you've been away for a very long time and you're okay with traveling all over the world. Okay, I like that. And then what are the requirements if a person wanted to study medicine? The specific ASP, what do they use to measure? Is it ASP score, or it depends in which country you're going to? And maybe in the countries that you've applied, maybe you can just briefly summarize the requirements that were sort of similar.
I'm not sure about other countries, and I'm not even sure about the Ukraine, the criteria that they use for like you know, taking their students, but then generally you need to have good grades. And
what is good?
AB.
Okay, so because I know Zim is quite strict with the numbers, right?
Yeah.
So what is a B?
A B, 70.
Is it 70 and above? Oh.
I don't know.
Because I know that, like, for instance, in essay, distinction starts from 75.
Okay. I'm not sure, to be honest.
Okay.
I think it's like, wait, in A probably is like from 75 to, from 75. Then a B probably from 60 to
okay.
74, yeah. I
think. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, basically A's and B's. So I had like 13 points. I did 3 subjects, so that means for you to, if you had gotten straight A's, that means you have 15 points.
Sure.
I had 13. I had an A and 2 B's. So I don't know really.
So you just basically applied. You're like, you know, I'm using. So your 13 points is like the A-B that you are describing. How did you get to 13 points? Did you just have A's?
And 2 B's.
Oh, so you had so it's just 3 subjects, literally.
Just 3 subjects.
Oh, okay, 3 modules, and then that's just about it. Okay.
So you need to have biology. Biology is like biology and chemistry, because you're going to see them like as you go to first year basically. Yeah, most of the subjects that you do have to do with biology and chemistry, and then as you go forward you're going to do biochemistry, so you definitely need biology and chemistry.
Oh, okay, those are like your main prerequisites.
Yeah.
And then obviously is maths a big thing?
No.
Okay. No. So do you think I'd be able to do medicine without like pure maths?
No, I think they need it.
But it's not like major.
I wouldn't know if they take someone with maths literacy. I don't know, but I think mostly they just want to know like how sharp you are, I guess. I don't know. So, if you have done mathematics, I'm sure they're like, okay, this person is
actually sharp enough.
Yeah, probably. I don't really know.
Oh, okay. All right. No, I hear you. And then with like for instance, applying for your visas and all of these things, was that process easy? What was it like? Or did your agent do everything for you?
Well, she did most of the things. So I was doing everything in Zimbabwe until I had to like now come in, because the embassy is only in South Africa.
Okay.
In Zimbabwe there's no embassy. So I now had to like bring my documents by myself. I had to do the traveling alone. And then at some point, like there were some documents that they said I need to fix again. It was a lot.
It was a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot.
So basically, is it a thing of you need to like you need to be ready for doing like a lot of admin, paperwork and stuff like that?
Not really.
Okay.
So the agent just like combines everything, all the documents that you need. What I needed to do was just to submit.
Oh, okay. But so you just submit.
When I got to like where I needed to submit, that's when they told me I need to fix some documents. Yeah, but then
Okay, but then
it doesn't take long.
Oh, it doesn't take long
to come out. Yeah.
How long does it take?
I think mine took like 3 weeks. Or 2 weeks, I don't remember.
Between 2 to 3 weeks, basically. Oh, okay, that's interesting. So basically, so your agent does everything, and then they send you an invitation letter.
Yeah. So, the invitation letter is sent before the application.
Before the application. Oh, okay. So you get the invitation, then you make the application for the visa, and then once it's approved, you're ready to rock.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And then how are the fees there expensive? How would you rate them?
Well, Ukraine is quite affordable compared to other European countries.
Okay.
I think that's why a lot of people go there. So roughly 3.5 US dollars to like 6,000, and usually that's excluding
accommodation.
Okay. Yeah. So unlike other. In Poland, it's like 10,000 euro going up.
Okay.
Yeah, 10,000 euros to like do medicine. So Ukraine is quite affordable.
Oh, okay. So you said 3.5 US dollars, ne? So that would be like 60,000 rand plus, right? Yeah. And then accommodation. How much does accommodation range from?
It depends. If you're staying in an apartment, that's roughly like $200 to $300. But if you're staying in like on the school campus or hostel, whatever, is like $100 to $150.
Oh, okay. So it's much more affordable when you're on campus. Okay, that's interesting. So what was the thing that you're thinking of when you like went onto that flight? Were you just so excited, I'm going out of the country and my dreams are coming true, or did you have like any reservations, any fears, any anxieties?
Not really. I don't think anything was really going through my mind.
Sorry, you're disturbing our video. Your hands. Women, I've been trying to pinch you. You're unpinchable. Like your phone is moving there. So yeah.
I don't think I had anything in mind. You know, I didn't have expectations or anything. I don't know. To me, it was just like, okay, I'm going to school. But then one thing is obviously you're mindful of, okay, I just hope I get like good friends.
Sure.
You know, because you wouldn't want to be in a foreign country and have. Actually, I just want to like be able to connect with people in general, because you don't want to be lonely in a foreign country. Yeah.
But otherwise, you were happy and excited about it.
I was really happy because I was like, finally, because you know, I almost did not, like, the year was almost coming to an end without me getting admission, and you know, there were some challenges, you know, financially and stuff like that. So at that moment, I was really like, thank you, God. So
you were grateful.
I was just grateful that finally I'm going.
Okay, how long was the flight?
Okay, so I had a layover in Dubai. From here to Dubai, I think it was like 6 hours. Yes, it was 6 hours, and then from Dubai to Ukraine, I think it was like 3 hours.
Oh, okay. No, okay, it's not as bad. Okay, that's interesting. And then you get there. What was the first thing you did? Did you just go straight to campus, or did you get something to eat?
No. So your agent is the one who picks you up at the airport. Okay. So he came, he picked me up, and he took me to one motel where I had to sleep because at that time it was already too late for me to go to the hostel. So yeah, he bought me food, and then I just stayed there for the night. And
was he friendly? Weren't you like scared? I am with this stranger, and I don't know how like my fate is going.
He sent me his like temporary residence permit card, so you know, I felt a bit safe because I know if this person was like to dupe me or anything, I have his details.
Yes, you'd be able to sort of chase him down.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So and he called my parents as soon as I got there. He's like, okay, your daughter is here, whatever. Yeah. So yeah, it was.
Were they African or were they from Ukraine?
He's Pakistan. But
he's Pakistan.
He had been in Ukraine for the longest time.
Oh, okay. No, that's interesting. Okay. Yeah. And then how was your first night? Was the motel comfortable, or it was just descent? It was like, you know what?
I don't think I slept very well.
Okay.
I don't know. It was just one of those things where you are in a new environment. Just, I don't know. No, it was okay.
Okay. And then how was your first, because you went during COVID-19, right? Yeah. So your first experience of like campus life or just studying was like online. You didn't get campus life.
Not really. So the thing is, when I went there, it was like 4 weeks before the lockdown. So at that time, COVID was just in China. We're just hearing about it, you know. But then also when I traveled, I had to travel with a mask. Like my parents were just like, you know, just travel with a mask. And I noticed when I got to Dubai, like a lot of people were actually wearing masks and all that stuff. But then other people were just like, no.
That's whatever.
Yeah. So when I got there, like we were free for the first 3 weeks. We actually attended classes. Like, physically.
And how is the campus? Is it beautiful? Were you like happy and pleased, or it's just like another one?
Well, the thing with my school, it's just a medical school.
Oh, so okay. So like no other
small campus. Yeah, actually they have different campuses. One in a different location and another in a different location.
Sure.
And then most of the times you like have to go to hospitals and stuff like that. So you know, it was just.
Yeah, we're here to study and that's it. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So that is a great experience. And then after 3 weeks, it's like online.
Go online. We actually at some point like people were happy that like this COVID we're not going to learn, but then my school like they say they have been through like the whole. At some point they had to go online. I don't know. So there were like fully prepared.
Oh, they were fully ready for it.
Yeah, we didn't even have to go for like a week without classes. Like I think in 3 days they said, you know, we're creating accounts for like the online platform that we're going to be using and whatever. So we started, but then there was a lot of pressure.
Oh, okay.
The pressure was a lot because now you're getting assignments, you know, every, like, we have like different subjects and like a teacher for every subject. So it's different with the system here, whereby you have lectures, like continuous lectures, and then maybe you have a test. Maybe once, like, I don't know, in 3 weeks. With us, like, it's continuous assessment each and every day.
Okay.
So, like, there's a lot of pressure. You know, you have tests for this subject. You have the next subject. So, with first year is worse because there are just a lot of subjects. Okay. So, for them, you need to show up for each class. You need to know every topic that you're doing for that day. So it was a lot. It was a lot of.
It took a lot from you.
Unfortunately, like you could help each other. You know, you can't just die on your own. So maybe one person does another assignment, and then you guys share
and all of that.
Or something. Yeah.
No, that's actually good, because I can imagine how, actually coming to think of it, I can imagine how stressful it was for medical schools in general all over the world, because medicine in its nature is a very practical course, right? So now they have to teach you guys online, and it's like you have to grasp so much. And I'm sensing that it could have been the reason why, like, there was just so much assessment, because you like, these are people that are entrusted with people's lives, so you can't make a mistake of training a microwave doctor. Like, you can't 2 minutes noodle a doctor. Yes, you know, you have to make sure they know everything possible that they need to know. And then how long do you have to study medicine?
In Ukraine, it's 6 years.
Okay, and then general, is that the standard 6 years for most countries, or other countries it's more or less?
I think here in South Africa it's also 6. In Zimbabwe it's 5, because you know, most of the things that we do in first year, like, there are things that we would have done in Zimbabwe we had done already
in O level or A level. Oh, okay, no, so, that makes sense.
So great. A level, like Form 6 is like grade 13.
Oh,
and here there's like grade
12. Okay, yeah. So
it's one of, so in Zimbabwe they just made it 5 years, because they know you've already done like most of the things in grade 13.
Sure. Okay. No, I hear you. Yeah. And then, was it easy for you to make friends? Did you make new friends?
Yeah, I made good friends, but my roommate and some people on my floor, as well as like in my group, because you know, you're working together, so yeah, generally those people become your friends. Okay. And yeah, like, I was the only Zimbabwean, the rest were like Nigerians, mostly Nigerians. So like, most of my friends are Nigerians, but they are very, very nice people.
Sure. And I think actually, one thing about Nigerians, they'll become doctors, hey? Like, I feel like doctors and lawyers, I think it's like their parents, the rich parents in Nigeria are like, hey, you better be a doctor or a lawyer, because the thing about Nigerians, they'll be lawyers and doctors. So, okay. Great. It was easy for you to make friends. The food, like the cuisine, how was it? Or were you able to find the food that you're used to, or it was also a struggle or culture shock?
Okay, so the thing is, firstly, the language. Most of the people cannot speak English at all. So in shops, like, everything is written in Ukrainian. Every label you can think of, everything is in Ukrainian. So you literally have to have your phone to be able to use Google Translate.
Wow,
to translate everything, you know, like from sugar, from
all of those things. So basically, a phone is a necessity if you are foreign in Ukraine. Okay.
It is, because you cannot get your way around if you don't have like a Google Translate. Okay. So for generally, you find all these things, you know, macaroni, rice, they're there, you know, the spices that you need, but there's no pap.
Okay.
No pap. And you know, meat is just the general meat, but then they have their own like meals, like their staple food. They have their own dishes. I've never tried them.
Oh, wow! I'm so disappointed. So you didn't try any of their?
It's weird for me, like,
because one thing about me, I'm very spontaneous. Like, so if I'm to go to a different country, I'm just like, what's your staple food? I have to try it out.
The thing
if I'm not going to enjoy it, but I must know it inside my mouth. I must have an experience.
I get you, but then dish, like it's called borscht, like that's
borscht. Already the name is just
like. So it has beetroot, potatoes, like in the same dish. No, not like beetroot the way we cook it here. No, it's like liquid.
Oh, okay. It's just liquid beetroot.
Yeah, I don't know how they cook it, but then like inside it has potatoes, and I'm not sure the other things that they put inside. But then also it comes with dumplings.
Sure. I don't know. It's a lot. There's a lot going on. I was like, no. Okay, now you are settled in. Firstly, you've conquered the first big war that the whole world is fighting, which is I will kill Mbali, honestly. Like, you can't afford to move. Like, literally. So now you've conquered this big war, which is COVID-19, because the whole world is going through COVID-19. There's a solution to the whole thing, which is what? Online learning and stuff like that, right? Yeah. Now the war happens. Like what went through your mind? How is the process? What was your first reaction?
So the thing is, we had just come out of lockdown.
Sure.
I think we came out of lockdown, like full lockdown. Sure. The whole 2021, like we could go out, but then obviously there were certain restrictions as to when like shops or malls closed and open. But then like now we could go for physical classes.
Sure.
Starting from like December, I think. Yeah. So, everything was normal. Everything was normal. We started hearing of all these rumors about war, like Russia wants to invade Ukraine. So, you ask Ukrainians that, okay, like what is going on?
Sure.
Like you ask your teachers, your lecturers, whatever. But then they're like, no, this thing has happened before. So apparently there was another like invasion which happened in 2014.
Sure.
But then, like, it just happened, like, in a certain area of...
Oh, so it wasn't as bad. Sure.
Yeah, but then a lot of people died, actually.
Hectic.
Like, 14,000 people lost their lives. So they were just like, no, Russia has been doing this. It's just one of those things. Don't worry.
Sure.
And, okay, so nothing was happening. Literally, lives were normal.
Intense.
People were living their normal lives. So we're just like, okay. But then people from back home, like, they would be calling all the time. They're like, yo, you guys...
They're seeing footage on media.
Happening. Exactly. You know how the news was like publishing all these
propaganda and all of these things.
Exactly. But then us were children like, Haibo, nothing is happening here. But then, other parents, like, they really enforced that their children come back home. But then for me, my parents were just like, well, it's your decision.
Yeah, do you want to come back or not?
But then, like, in my circle, everyone was just like, nah, nothing's gonna happen. So
sure, let's all chill.
So the day that it finally happened, so like there were missiles which were I don't know, missiles or bombs which happened like in certain areas. So it was around, I think 3
in the morning or afternoon.
Yeah, 3 a.m. on the 24th of February, a.m. Yeah. So around 5, I was sleeping, and then I hear this knock. Like my friend was knocking on the door, so my roommate opened for her, and then she's like, "Guys, have you heard?" Like, I'm like, "Hi, what's happening?" Sure. Like, there've been bombs, and like, actually, where we are staying, like, people say that there were vibrations, and around 3, I'm like, "Hi." So I was just listening whilst in my blankets. I'm like, people have started, like, people just want to stay up. Exactly. But then I said, okay, let me just open my phone. That's when I opened my phone. I'm going to CNN. I'm seeing, all those explosions. Sure. I'm like, oh my God. That's when like the reality clicked in. I woke up, and now we are seeing Ukrainians. So Ukrainians, they have homes to go to,
besides campus and stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they have homes to go to. So they were packing their luggages, carrying their suitcases. As we're like, where are we going?
Yes, because home is like,
and that's when you want to start to search for flights. Now you're seeing the airspace has been closed. There are no flights going anywhere. It was crazy. You want to cry, but at the same time, like,
even if I cry.
Exactly. You want to comfort your friends. Like, it was just so horrific.
So, yeah, you are now so worried. You've been checking flights. No flights are available. It's crazy.
Yeah. So, like, messages were just going around that, just, like, pack an emergency bag, put all your documents inside, and, like, just buy food, like, in case you have, because they might you might be required to stay indoors for like a couple of weeks or days. What? I don't know. Yeah, so we now started going to the shops, buying things, solid foods, so that if you're going to have to stay indoors for like a couple of days, then you have something to eat, and also to withdraw money from the bank. Yeah, and like the queue when you got to the ATM, the queues that were there, and you had like a certain limit that you had to withdraw. So it was crazy. But then we're just panicking, and now like sirens were going around the whole city, and you're like, okay, so like what am I supposed to do
actually?
And the worst thing is the school wasn't communicating at that point. Like
they were just quiet.
They didn't say a thing. Like it was, we had to like find a way to see, okay, what do we do now? So we just basically stayed indoors the whole of that day. Other people were talking about, let's go to this. So there was one city, Lviv. It's like on the western side, so they say there it's much more safer. So people were just like, okay, maybe let's just go there. But then my friends and I, we hadn't made that decision. We're like, okay, let's stay, because at that point, like there was so much traffic,
so much movement and all of that.
Yes, like people were stuck in roads, like people were stuck because everyone was trying to evacuate from Kyiv, because you know how Russia threatened that, in 3 days, I'm just giving you 3 days,
sure,
we're going to like take over. Like they wanted Ukraine, Kyiv, which is the main city. Like they were like, we want to invade Kyiv, and it's just gonna take us like 3 days. Sure. So everyone wanted to get out of Kyiv. That was the thing. So like there was a lot of traffic, trains, like it was just terrible.
It was a lot.
So we slept back, but then like at 2 a.m. They woke us up. They said you have to go to like a bomb shelter. So a bomb shelter, basically it had to be like a basement.
Sure.
Because that's where like you're safe, or he had to go to the subway station because it was considered the safest place.
Sure.
So we had to go to one parking space, which was like across the road from where we stayed. And it was cold, like literally we were in winter, so the temperatures were like minus something, I don't even know. So it was extremely cold, and now you had to be there, there are no heaters. So it was just terrible. It was just a long night. But then the next morning, that's when we said, you know what guys, like let's just go to Lviv. So when we left, it was a matter of, in my head, I don't know about others, but in my head, I was just like, nah, this is not gonna last.
Yeah, you thought it was just
like 2 weeks, we come back. Yeah. So, and anyways, even if like I had thought otherwise, like you couldn't pack anything which was like heavy, like a huge suitcase. So I literally had like a small suitcase that I had to pack like a coat, sweatpants and sweaters, things that are warm. Sure. And the only shoes that I was wearing, those are the only shoes I had. And I had a backpack which had my documents and my laptop. And that was it. Like everything that I owned was left behind. Those are the only things I managed to carry with me. So yeah, we got to the train station and it was packed. Like it was
everyone is just trying to leave.
Everyone is trying to leave. So they ended up just saying like all trains are free. But then like when a train comes to say it's leaving, like they were taking preference of Ukrainians. They're all people. Okay. So blacks, for you to have gotten in, for you to be able to go inside a train, it had to be either by stampede or pushing.
Force yourself in.
And for someone like me,
yes, it was very messy. Like you just had to wait there.
You just had to wait there, and it was hard. But then we managed to get into the train and we got to Lviv. It was the same situation. So from Lviv, other people were taking buses or using cars to go to Poland. But then, like most people that had gone by road, they had to come back.
Sure.
Because what was happening with all these buses, they take people. So there was a lot of traffic. They take people, now they realize they can't go any further. Then they just leave people on the road.
And then do they walk or
people had to walk. People walked for kilometers, like more than 13 kilometers.
Hectic.
And remember, it's cold. It's cold. You don't have food because actually in Lviv, just a few shops were open.
Okay.
Just a few shops were open. So if you did not take any food, you didn't have food. So you're hungry, you're walking in the cold. So it was really terrible. It was really terrible. Like for people that use the road to get to Poland, they were just
it was very messy.
Yeah. So for me, I had friends that I'd come with. So they were like, you know what, guys, like there's no point for us to just stay here at the subway. Let's go and find a place that we can at least sleep for the night and bath, because I hadn't bathed for like the past 2 days. So today was now like, that day was now like the third day without me bathing. So we just needed to refresh because there was actually no point, you stay at the subway, then the train comes, they prioritize their own people. So yeah, we just had to go and, shower and then sleep the night, and the next morning, that's when we woke up and we went back. So, trains were coming and going and, it was just God's grace. For me, it was just God's grace for me to leave that place.
Sure.
Because what happened is, so we had been sitting there at the subway. So like, there are different trail rails.
Sure.
Yeah, so train rails. I don't know what they call them.
Yeah,
so
those
like
rails.
Four in a line. So like you had to go up the stairs to go where the rails were.
Sure.
Yeah. So for you to go to a different one, you had to come down and then go to a different one. Yeah.
Sure.
So there was a place whereby people were saying this one is the one which goes to Poland, like trains which are going to Poland, they're going this way. So that's where we were since morning. Like my feet were frozen. I couldn't feel my legs. Because it was very cold. Like I couldn't feel my legs at all. So I was just there, so in other rails, like different trains from different places which are going to different directions would come. So they would just be going. So I just saw one train which was there, and I'm like, let me just go like and ask like where this train is going.
Sure.
Then I went down, then I went to that, I went up to that rail. Then I asked this guy, I'm like, where is this train going? Then he's like, it's going to, I think it was Zaporizhzhia, I don't remember. Then I'm like, okay. So I then, as I got down, there was a lady who was there, and then she was speaking good English. I'm sure she was like American or something.
Oh, okay.
She's like, oh, hi, where are you going? I'm like, well, we are waiting for the train. You want to go to Poland? Then she's like, okay, there's a train coming. Come, let's go get your friends. Just like that. Like,
wow.
This lady.
So you didn't know this lady, and then they were just like, hey, let's go.
So we now went to where my friends were. I'm like, guys, I think, there's an opportunity here. Let's go. Let's just follow her. So we now went. So she's like, okay, don't make too much noise about it, because everyone who was there wanted to come. Go.
Sure.
Exactly. So we now went there, we waited, and all these other trains that people were using, like people would go standing, people would be filled in like the passengers.
It was like clustered and all of that.
Exactly. So this train which now comes, it was like all fancy and stuff. Like I was literally the first one to get in. And then like when we realized that it was literally empty, that's when we're like, you guys, if you know anyone like who is here, just contact your friends to have them come as well, because there's no point in the train going empty whilst a lot of people are seeking to flee from this place. So that's when they started coming in, like a lot of people that started coming in, so mostly blacks. So when Ukrainians now knew that there was this train, they started coming, and they were now like, you guys should like all Africans should stand up from the seats. Like,
how?
That was so ridiculous. I'm like, so this guy was now like, hi, this train is for Africans. So I don't know, I think there was...
Sorry, let's just pause a bit.
Make sure. Oh, no, not you. Oh, okay, now it's standing. Where do I put it?
It's going to fall.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So now, like Ukrainians started coming in. They started coming to the train, and like there were a lot of Africans, but they thought like since it's their country, like everything is just for them. Whatever. They were like, all Africans should stand up from their seats so that we can sit. And then this guy was like, no, like this train is for Africans. You can go to the other trains which have been coming. So I think the reason why I think this train, because around in the news, like there was a lot of news going about that there's racism, and there's like Ukraine, generally Africans are not allowed to go out. So I think somebody sent that train for like Africans
to sort of save them. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's how it was, because I don't know. But then we ended up going, and it made our journey easy, because if you had to go by road, then like the immigration process, you had to like walk to then go there. But for us, we just came out of the train, and there were people there who stamped our passports and stuff, and when we got there, like they really received us well, like they really treated us well. There was food, there was like medical aid if you needed to be helped, and there were buses going to like all different cities that you needed to go. So if you had someone in like a certain city, you take a bus to that city. But then the trauma, because we were hearing sounds whilst we were in Ukraine, like
the bombs and all of that
and stuff. So anytime you'd hear like a door slam, like you're triggered, because you're thinking that, like, am I in that place again? Like the memories were like still fresh, but then like we received very well. If you didn't have a place to go, like there were like refugee
camps and stuff.
Where you could go. So fortunately for me, because you know how it is with like the refugee places, you have to like share bathrooms. You have to. It's not that
comfortable.
Exactly. So generally there was a group which was created for like Zimbabwean students, those that needed help, and there were people in Poland that were willing to help, so they accommodated us into their homes. And we were accommodated by this very nice gentleman. I and my other two friends. So he accommodated us for like the whole period really, until we had to like find our way. So and
then you guys decided to fly back and come back home. You're like, you know what, let's just go home. Okay, no, that's quite an experience. But there's something, when all of this is happening, remember God has placed you. You're excited. You're like, I'm going to study medicine. I'm going to do this. I'm the girl that I think I am. And then something like this happens. Didn't you like wasn't there some loss of trust, or like, God, you bring me so far away. My family is not here. I could possibly die. Like,
So with me, I've been the person that doesn't like question God. I just believe God. He knows what He's doing. He knows what He's doing. But then at the same time, like, I cannot understand.
His ways are mysterious anyway.
Exactly. So it was hard for me. I couldn't pray, to be honest. Like, I went for months without actually getting myself to a place where I could pray. Not that I didn't trust God, but I just didn't know what to say to Him. Like, it was really hard. Like, at one point I fell into depression because it was really hard. You're thinking of everything that you left behind, and we the school was not communicating even up to that point, so we didn't know, are we still going to continue with our studies? So
I in just a dark place.
Exactly, I was in a dark place, and the moments when I actually got to like talk to God, I would just maybe be lying on my bed and I'm just like, God, and then I would just cry. But then in those moments I felt better, because I felt I've cried in His presence, so it made me feel much better. But then to actually like pray and what to pray for, it was hard. It was really hard. But then with time, you also have people around you. I'm blessed to have like very prayerful friends, and my family, they're very supportive. So God continuously brings, His word to you through people, through even, His word. I could read my Bible, but I couldn't pray.
You couldn't pray, but there were people that were standing in and filling in the gap for you. I think another thing that I'm learning, like from your story and your journey and all of these things, is that wherever there's God's vision, there's provision. As I'll make, for example, if it wasn't a godly orchestrated time of your life, you would have came later when that lady that you bumped into.
Thank you.
You wouldn't have came in just on time. Yeah. That lady wouldn't have thought of talking to you. She could have continued minding her business. Sure. And you wouldn't. And another thing, you may look at it like, oh God, why was I in that situation? But mind you, you were in the right country at the right time. Because you can imagine the amount of people that were saved because you're actually able to tell your friends, hey guys, there's actually a saving grace here. Let's take this way. You guys were able to communicate with other people. And mind you, you were a point of contact or a point of grace for other people because those people could have been in the dark and you could have been in Africa living your best life. But also those people couldn't have been saved during that time. The whole thing needed you to be there. It needed you to go through in as much as it wasn't a luxurious or favorable moment. But for me, when you narrate the whole journey, it wasn't as easy. There's traumas, there's pain, but you realize that actually it was sort of a purposeful and divinely orchestrated season of your life. Yeah, okay. Now, that's interesting.
So in as much as till now, I can't really understand why the whole war happened because even before it happened, when we're hearing rumors, I used to pray that God, no, this should not happen. You do not bring me to this country for there to be a war, whatever. But then
it happened anyway. Sure.
So you have to now get to a point whereby you learn to accept that things, you may make plans and things will not always go the way you planned them.
Sure.
But then, God is always working things out for the good of those who love Him and those who are called according to His purpose. So it's one of those things that have strengthened me that, even though it doesn't go according to my plan, but God is going to take me to where He wants to take me.
Sure, there's a greater plan
with me. Yeah, He's still working it out, and I've been seeing it this year or all this year throughout. I'm much more happier. I'm at peace now than I was at the beginning of this year. I couldn't see the light at the end of the tunnel, but
now you sort of see it.
Yeah, because then it was hard. It was hard. It was really hard. But all these trials, they're
and
supposed
tribulations.
They bring us into character. God wants to prepare you for something that He has for you in the
beyond.
Future, which maybe if you don't go through the challenges that you're going through now, you may not be able to
withstand it and actually be able to appreciate the season that you're in at the time. I think that's a beautiful way to put it. And I think another thing that I also learned from this whole thing is that we can pray, we can do this, we can do that, we need to obey and all of these things. But at the end of the day, everything happens in God's timing, not in our own personal timing. Because half the time it hurts when you have this grand plan and then God destabilizes it. You're like, what? Sorry, sir, I'm supposed to be getting married this year. What's your problem? Or I'm supposed to be graduating this year. And God is like, wait a minute. And then over the years, you realize that actually, God had a better and a greater plan, than I had. So I think it was really beautiful to listen to your story and actually listen to your experience. I don't know, you're brave. I wouldn't, I think I would have crashed under pressure.
It wasn't easy. It's just God's grace, to be honest.
Yeah, we thank God that you came back home, you are alive, you're safe, and your friends were also able to be saved and all of that. And yeah, guys, you must apply and go study overseas and all of that. And yeah, without wasting any much of your time, you're welcome to like, subscribe, share, and comment. And I'll catch you in another video.